Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead, click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with Don. Master Blaster, what's up? Harmon is that Kevin? Yeah, Harmon Kevin. Okay, BM Grip, what it do? What's up? Joe, I see you, China Carter. What's up? Trent Stanley. TC Wade, what it do? Mr. J Rock. Solo served. What's up, Christopher? Christopher Sam in the building. Eric Reynolds, Mr. Opinion. I like how you spell that, opinion. Pretty TLC, what's up? Pretty TLC. Chaos Cubed. Fourth letter. We got, what was that? Flo Wolf. Matt Queen. African Pride. What's up, Anthony? Alan, what up, Al? Frequency Wave. Francine White. What's up, Francine? Leonard Spencer. Angela Thomas, Gary Kirk. All right, fam, going in. What was that? Daddy Packy? Daddy Pacquiao. St. Louis. What's up, Jennifer? All right, going in, fam. Going in. Donald Trump, your president, got a little problem. He has a little problem, and that problem is China and Russia. Yeah, you see, China and Russia has not gone public with some type of declaration of war against the United States, but it has been discovered that they have been covertly aiding Iran in its mission against the United States, in defense of the United States. Now, you got to think, these are three superpowers now. You got the US, China, and Russia. If these reports are true and China is indeed aiding Iran and Russia is indeed aiding Iran in their defense of their country against the United States and Israel, this could have far more severe consequences. You always have to prepare. You got to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. For a long time, Americans have simply hoped for the best. And that hope has been pretty stable for decades because America has pretty much beaten everybody to the punch when it comes to military weapons. But over the last few decades, China and Russia has made themselves formidable threats, threats that the United States do not want to see materialize. because they are very capable of doing just as much damage, if not more, to the United States as the United States are to them. I want y'all to check out this article in the AP. Russia has provided Iran with information that could help Tehran strike American warships, aircraft, and other assets in the region, according to two officials familiar with U.S. intelligence on the matter. The officials, who were not authorized to comment publicly on the sensitive matter and spoke on the condition of anonymity, cautioned that the U.S. intelligence had not uncovered that Russia is directing Iran on what to do with the information as the U.S. and Israel continue their bombardment and Iran fires retaliatory salvos at American assets and allies in the Persian Gulf. Still, it's the first indication that Moscow has sought to get involved in the war that the U.S. and Israel launched on Iran a week ago. Russia is in the rare club of countries that maintains friendly relations with Tehran, which has faced years of isolation over its nuclear program and its support of proxy groups that have wreaked havoc in the Middle East, including Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis. So Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis. So based on that report, China and Russia is in. Now, Russia, remember, Trump and Putin were bosom buddies over the last several years. They've done business together. When you hear about a revelation like this, you have to say to yourself, for those of you who might have a problem with this guy, Putin, Vladimir Putin, you have to say to yourself, who does that sound like? You know, making deals with people, kicking it with them, and next thing you know, going to war with them. Who does that sound like? Sounds a lot like Trump to me. All of these guys are pretty much on the same level to me. It depends on which personality you want to rock with. Now, remember, fam, all of America's enemies was once its friends. Every single enemy America has ever had was once identified as a friend. America identified that enemy as a friend. And then America attacked that enemy. America invaded that enemy. America went and killed that enemy's citizens in the name of liberation and saving the international body, right? He's like, we got to save the rest of the world from this regime right here. We're going to save the world from this regime. We're going to save the world from this regime. But it appears to me that now the rest of the world is trying to save the rest of the world from the United States. Think about what I just said, fam. These are two countries that are equipped to go toe-to-toe with the United States. They understand the implications. Trump claims and believes that Putin is his friend. But like Putin, but like Trump, Putin has no friends. Putin's only friend is his interests. Like Trump, that is his only friend, his interests. Trump is the president of the United States of America, and he has not one friend in the whole entire world. I'm not talking about people he's doing business with and he just casually call a friend. There is no one person on this planet who has said, I grew up with Donald Trump, he's my friend. Where are those people? Because all of us have childhood friends. We got at least one friend we can say, yeah, that's my childhood friend. Yeah, we still, man, we go back. Man, oh yeah, man, we go back, man. Trump ain't got one person in his life like that. Not one. Most of his family don't even claim him. He's the president of the United States. They don't want nothing from him. They're not claiming him. His aunt said that he was the least expected person in their family. I mean, that their family thought would amount to something because he was just a bad person and he was not that smart. This is what his family said. Putin could have armed Iran with nukes, but they aren't that close, I guess. But now here's the thing. Let's get into the interest there. Let's see why. What is behind Putin and Kim Jong-un? What is behind them wanting to aid? Wanting to aid Iran. Like, what's going on here? So here's Russia's stance. Moscow has strongly condemned U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, calling them unprovoked acts of aggression and urging an immediate halt to military operations. Russia's leadership accuses U.S. of trying to drag Arab states into a broader conflict and cast itself as a diplomatic counterweight seeking negotiation. So reports suggest that Russia may be providing Iran with intelligence or targeting data to enhance Tehran's ability against U.S. forces, though this is unconfirmed in official statements. Despite political cooperation and condemnation of U.S. policy, Russia has not publicly committed combat forces to fight alongside Iran. Now, here's China's position. China has condemned U.S.-Israeli actions and called for restraint and an end to hostilities and a return to diplomacy. Beijing asserts that military force cannot solve the conflict and emphasizes adherence to the United Nations Charter. China is a long-term partner of Iran economically and diplomatically, but there is no clear evidence that China has sent troops or weapons to directly fight U.S. or Israel. Now, that does not mean that they have not done that. There's just no clear evidence. Nobody's saying anything out front. This is something that the U.S. has done for a very, very long time. When the U.S. identify an enemy and there is a group that rises against that enemy, let's say within that country, the U.S. will oftentimes fund that group, even if it's a group of rapists, murderers. If they're against the regime that America wants out, the U.S. will fund them. They will give them weapons and gun, money and everything that they need, intelligence, whatever they need to defeat the regime. And then what the United States would typically do is turn around and then paint that same group that they funded as the enemy because they have intelligence on them. Remember, they're working hand in hand with this group, so they know all of the inner workings of the group and they know who all of the main players are. So then the U.S. would turn on that group and then eliminate that group and their leader. And then thus overall maintain control of the country. They get to a point where they decide that, you know what, killing y'all ain't enough. We're going to decide who your next leader is. Ain't that something? That's something. That's a cold-blooded play to me, man. That's a cold-blooded play to me. To be able to kill your enemies and then Tell the people that's left standing who you want to run their country. You go in and kill a leader of a country, and then you tell the people that's left standing who gonna be the next leader. That is absolutely incredible to me. The audacity. So what y'all think gonna happen, fam? Y'all think that this is gonna all work out for the United States? I don't think that things are going like the United States planned on things going. They're not going how the United States planned on them going. Remember, Trump thought that this was going to be a 2-day event. Then he said, I think it's going to take about 2 weeks. And now, mark my words, they are getting ready to announce that this may take a few months. Next thing you know, this is going to be going on for a few years, because Iran is not the weak country that America thought it was. Let me tell you something, fam. Perhaps America should have taken heed and maybe was like, these guys are saying that if we want to go to war, well, we'll take you to war. You want to go to war? I'll take you to war. They was getting down with this. They was on their Scarface. Hey, man, you want to go to war? I'll take you to war. This is what Iran was saying. We're not afraid of you. If you do attack us, we're not going to miss next time. If you do come at us, we're ready. Right now, America is talking about sending 40,000 troops, foot soldiers, to Iran. You know what Iran said? Bring it. We're waiting on you. Iran. This is what the Iran leader said. He said, one of the top officials in Iran said, we're waiting on you. Trump is about to lead American soldiers into a burning house. And the casualties is going to be immeasurable. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When it happens, all he's going to do is try to turn it on Iran and try to make it seem like Iran caused all of this. Because, they were hurting people. They were killing people over here, killing people over there. They were hurting their own people. I heard them talking about, like, we love the people of Iran. We love the people of Iran. You love the people of Iran, but you killed their children. You bombed a school and killed a bunch of innocent little girls. You're bombing their mosque. You're bombing everything that they hold sacred. You're bombing their hospitals. You're bombing people's communities. Communities where you have generations of families who stood on certain blocks, who lived in certain houses, who attended certain community facilities, who have memories of all of this. You dropped a bomb and wiped all of that out. And you love the people? Man, you got to be a new fool to believe that. You got to be a new fool to believe that. That makes no sense to me. He's wiping out those people's history. The call was that the Ayatollah was so dangerous, he had to be killed. He had to be removed. I don't think he was that dangerous. I think if he was so dangerous, the person who killed him or whoever was responsible for killing him was probably even more dangerous. That's what my common sense tells me. If he was so dangerous, how he get killed? I'm thinking the person who's acting like they're not so dangerous is probably the more dangerous person. That's who's probably dangerous. The person who went over there and killed him who had who had the might, the intelligence, the skill set. That's who's probably more dangerous. The person who called the hit. This guy is so dangerous, and he's terrorizing the world. Well, if you kill him, you know 1,000 more of him are going to pop up. So they say they killed him, and they killed 40 more of the top officials in Tehran. They killed 40 more of them. They killed 40 more. Killed all of them. Imagine somebody killing 40 members of Congress or 40 members of our highest ranking military servicemen and women. Imagine that happening. I would think whoever could do that, could pull that off, is dangerous. I would be like, damn, I thought they was dangerous. No, these motherfuckers really are the danger. They are dangerous. That's what I would be thinking. I wouldn't be listening to the news. I wouldn't be brainwashed. You can't brainwash me. You can't get me to believe anything you want me to believe just because you're saying it. You can't lie to me and make it sound fly to me. You got to tell me the truth. Or you got to tell me something and make it sound like it's got to sound believable. You can't let me sit here and watch what's happening, hear what's happening, and tell me something different when I'm watching and I'm seeing what's happening. You can't tell me something different and think I'm going to believe it just because you said it. And you ended your speech with, God bless America. You know, that's all they got to say for a lot of us. And God bless America. Yeah, man, God bless America. Thank you, Mr. President. All you got to do is just say something like, this guy was dangerous. He was killing people. You ain't got to have no proof. Just say he did it. He was killing people and he was just dangerous. And they're running around saying death to America like it came out of nowhere. Like people are just waking up saying death to America. They're chanting death to America because America is killing them. America is destroying their country. America is putting sanctions. They're imposing sanctions against their country, trying to starve them out, trying to isolate them from the rest of the world. America, for decades, has been demonizing their country, demonizing the people. Now, all of a sudden, you love the people. Now you love the people of Iran, but you've been demonizing them. Now you're saying, which one is it? The people are screaming death to America. The officials aren't screaming death to America. The people of Iran are screaming death to America. So where you getting these people from that's saying that they're happy that the supreme leader was murdered, that they're happy that Trump invaded? Where is that coming from? You can always find a few disenfranchised people who are ready to go up against the government. You can always find a good, I don't know, maybe 1,600 insurgents. You can always find at least 1,600 of them who will storm the Capitol, and try to overthrow the government. You can always find a few out of the millions. Imagine if somebody took a camera and filmed 1,600 people storming the U.S. Capitol. They filmed those 1,600 people storming the U.S. Capitol, and they took that footage and said, you see there? See there? The Americans hate America. They hate Donald Trump. You see what happened? Well, this happened this is when Biden got in. So let's just say they hate Biden. Oh, it doesn't matter. They hate Trump. 1,600 people, they said they hate Biden. They hate Joe Biden. 1,600 people said they hate Joe Biden. Look at that. Americans don't like him. So this gives us a reason to go out and kill Joe Biden, because 1,600 people said they don't like Joe Biden and they want regime change. And Joe Biden has been messing up, and he's been killing people. And so now this justifies us killing him, because even Americans say death to Joe Biden. Anybody can take a camera and film a few hundred people or a few thousand people, or catch a few hundred people over here, catch a few hundred people over here, or mix up the same 200 people right here, get a little smaller crowd, get 3 people over here, get 10 people over here to say something, get another 20 people over here, and you can do that all day, every day. That's nothing. Can you get 90 million people to say that they approve of their leader being executed, assassinated? Can you get 90 million people to say that? I doubt it. I seriously doubt that. Now that China and Russia is in the picture, America got to move a little differently. This ain't going to be easy like they think it is. And this is why I tell people all the time, you know what you're going to do, but you don't know what somebody else is going to do. All you know is what you're going to do and what you're capable of doing. But you have no idea what the next person is really capable of doing. And you can never underestimate kindred spirits. You can never underestimate people who do not mind dying and killing. See, it's a lot of us in America, we don't mind dying. We say, man, I'll die for mine, man, I'll die. Yeah, but will you kill? Because they'll kill. They'll kill for what they want. They will kill for freedom. They're willing to die. They're willing to kill and die. That is the fundamental difference between them and us. We ain't ready to die. We might kill, but we only gonna kill when it's time to kill, when it's sanctioned, if we can go to war and kill. If we can become a police officer, we can become an executor at one of the state penitentiaries that have the death penalty, yeah, we'll kill in that. We'll kill then. But we ain't finna go out and do nothing like to overturn the government or nothing to take out this. We ain't doing none of that. We ain't built like that. We ain't finna stand on it like that because we tired of the police killing black folks, and we ain't finna do all of that. We're not finna do that. They will. They will. It don't matter how many of those people they kill. 1,000 more are going to pop up, going to be ready to is going to be ready to stand in the gap. 1,000 more will stand in the gap. You can't kill an idea. Yeah, you can kill people, but you can't kill an idea. What I'm trying to tell you is Iran, the people of Iran they subscribe to an idea. They describe to an idea of freedom, of pride, of integrity. They ride on their religion. This shit over here is fake. Everything is compromised over here. Because we got excuses for everything. We are quick to have an excuse loading right now for anything that you want to do. Anything you get caught doing, anything you're ashamed of, it's an excuse waiting on you right now. You got an excuse waiting. Over there, man, it's death before dishonor. Death before dishonor. So they have to deal with that part. Then they have to deal with the fact that they're getting reinforced by 2 superpowers. Not 1, 2. You got Russia, you got China. And the only superpower that America has is itself. That's it. Pretty soon it's going to be us against the world. People are tired of the United States bullying them. They're tired of the United States bullying other countries. And China and Russia appears to be making the same play that America has made for decades. Fund your enemy's enemies. Aid your enemy's enemies. And so that you can weaken your enemy. And then when it's ripe for the picking, take your enemy out. I told y'all when it's kicked off. In fact, I told y'all before it kicked off. This ain't going to go like America thinks it's going to go. I study Iran. I study them. Those people are built differently. They tried to talk it out. They were at the negotiation table talking it out. But they did not agree to Trump's terms because they were unfavorable to them. Trump went in there with an America first attitude. Well, let me tell you something. In business, a good deal is a deal where both sides feel a little pain. America didn't want to feel no pain. The U.S. didn't want to have no pain. But a good deal is when both sides feel a little pain. I feel it. You feel it. I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got enough of what I wanted to feel okay about the deal. You know, I feel like, they felt a little pain. I felt a little pain. I signed the contract. I only wanted 3 years. I wanted a 2-year contract and $10 million. I wanted a two-year contract with $10 million. And y'all offered me, initially y'all said 5 years and $8 million. I wanted $2 million. Or initially y'all said 5 years. Initially y'all said 5 years with $5 million. And so we ended up agreeing to 3 years and $8 million. You see, I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got close enough to what I wanted. Didn't get everything, but I got close enough. And that's a good business deal when both sides feel a little pain. But America wanted Iran to feel all the pain. And Iran was like, nah, we ain't going for that. We ain't going for that. So America realizing that Iran wasn't going to bend, in the middle of negotiations, they struck. And then after America struck Iran, they had the audacity to say Iran started the war. Yeah, fam. So here's where we are. Here's where we are. Y'all said y'all didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because she was a woman and she might get into her feelings and start a war. So if Kamala Harris was a woman or is a woman and was going to get into her feelings and start a war, what is Trump? No more talk.